Good morning. My name is Kahn. I am a clinical psychologist at Columbus Developmental Center. I interface with the court system by performing competency to stand trial evaluations. Essentially, the courts have a question, and that is if the client is capable of understanding the nature and objective of the proceedings against the defendant or of assisting in the defendant's defense. The court would like guidance in three areas. First, if the person is competent. If the person is mental retarded and competent, we don't go any further. But if a person is incompetent to stand trial, whether this individual can be restored to competency within a reasonable period of time. And if so, what would be the least restrictive place where this could be done? On the other hand, the individual can be deemed incompetent to stand trial and unrestorable, at which point a subsequent guidance to the court comes in terms of the least restrictive place where he could receive the treatment, right kind of treatment for his condition that led to the offense. The statute dictates that a person be evaluated first by an expert in the field of mental health, and that the first evaluation is essentially to rule out mental illness if mental retardation is suspected. And when I get an order, it is usually the second opinion that is sought by the courts in terms of services that may be needed for the mental retarded individual. It's very rare that a mental retarded individual comes our way without having been identified by the service delivery system. So they usually have an SSA, they usually have a support system already, and it's pretty easy to then assist the court in determining whether the person would continue to stay within his current support system or would need to be institutionalized for his protection and that of others. And most generally, that's where the clinical role comes into play. We turn from criminal behaviors to clinical behaviors, and most generally formulate the relapse prevention plans and have plans for individuals. A few things to consider when an individual is interfaced with the criminal justice system. As clinicians, we are duty bound to look into the welfare of the client. And it becomes a struggle, an ethical struggle, whether you want to find an individual competent to stand trial and end up in the jail or prison system, or as an advocate for the individual. I'm always inclined to see where I can further the welfare of the client. The court does give you a leeway in that aspect. And the third question when the court asks what is the least restrictive place where an individual could receive treatment, your clinical skills come into play, and you can steer the person towards an optimal living environment where he can be safe and the community also can be safe.